Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of Reality Derby. I'm Marcus James Dixon.
I'm Denton Davidson, and we are talking Survivor 50, more fallout, and poor Savannah, the latest to go.
Yeah, the winner of 49 only made it 2 episodes in 50. I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. So we're going to talk to Savannah in a little bit, and then we'll also go over what we thought of the episode. We have a lot of thoughts.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot happened in episode 2. So let's go to Savannah right now, and then we will come back on the other side. Okay, we are here with Savannah, the winner of Survivor 49 and contestant on Survivor 50. So first question that's on everybody's mind, have you ever pooped your pants on the island?
Not on the island, no. No, but seriously, I mean, that kind of thing, it's so crazy because the coconuts like kind of are a natural laxative, you know what I mean? And we were on the same tribe as Ozzy. Ozzy is giving us all so many coconuts. My tummy was feeling a little funny at points. So I feel for Christian in that moment, but he handled it like a pro. So, he's fine.
Well, I want to jump right in with something Jenna told me last week. She was worried that some of the tribe mates on your tribe had pre-gamed, and she was not a part of that. So that's why she was kind of outcasted in the first episode. And having, you on the tribe as somebody that your game was completely unknown to the other players. Do you feel like there was pre-gaming going on, and were you a victim of that?
I mean, I don't want to say I was a victim of really anything out there, but I will say with any returning player season, I think there's going to be some sort of element of pre-gaming. I say pre-gaming, whether it's a Zoom call that everybody's hopping on, or even if it's just, hey, I know this person, a mutual friend, let me give that person like a stamp of approval and say, hey, you should work with them. You know what I mean? And so pre-gaming, the definition of it is so broad, especially for a returnee season. I do think it's a little bit harder when you come in and you haven't pre-gamed, but with that in mind, I mean, maybe that's my bad. Maybe I should have spent the 2 weeks in between seasons, messaging former Survivor players and trying to make those connections online or something like that instead of taking care of my own people back home and my own mental health.
Yeah, you didn't have a lot of time. It was 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was about 9 days that we had back here in Atlanta.
Wow. Do you wish you and Rizzo had been on the same tribe in season 50, or do you like that you were separated?
Rizzo's like not only like someone who I played with, but like someone who I consider a really good friend. And to have someone who is a good friend on your tribe, like who you can completely trust, like that would have been everything to me. But I do think that if the two of us were on the same tribe to start with, we would have been huge targets. I don't want to go out early, but if I'm not winning this game, I want Rizzo to win this game. And ultimately, it might be better that we weren't on the same tribe to start because now it gives him this freedom. His game kind of opens up without me being out there. And again, like I'm out of the game, so I'm now Team Rizzo.
And you were honest with your tribe that you had won Survivor 49 because they hadn't seen it yet. Did you ever consider like maybe I'm going to lie to them, or did you know right away you would be honest?
Actually at first I was not going to tell them that I won. I was going to tell them that Soph, runner-up from season 49, had won the game and that I got 5th place, and Rizzo was on board with that plan as well. But as we were flying out to LA to go to Fiji, I actually got a message from Soph, and she told me, hey, Savannah, I just talked to someone from season 47. They know our entire boot order. They know that you won. You cannot lie to these people because they already know the truth. And so in that moment, it was kind of like a last minute thing, but I'm like, damn, I guess I have to own everything and just say I won and hope that, everything, is okay after that.
And, the other winners are Kyle, who unfortunately was medically evacuated, and Dee. And so with Dee being the only winner, do you think she now has a huge target on her back?
Well, I think Dee already had a big target on her back. I mean, You watched the first 2 episodes and you hear how people think that she's a big threat and she has to go. And so whenever there's any sort of winner out there, they're gonna have some sort of target out there, even if there are other players out there who are better strategically or socially or physically. I don't think it's necessarily a good idea to target the winners just because they've won the game before. I'll be completely honest. Like I was on not only a tribe that had people, but I mean, not only on an island that had people, but a tribe that had people who are better at this game than I am. And those people were kept in the game. Whereas, yeah, maybe I won, but I'm not as strategic or socially savvy as some of these other folks. So I don't know if it's always the best idea to target a winner.
Watching the episode play out, it seemed like Ozzy was in real danger. and your name wasn't really floated out that much. Do you know why specifically you were targeted?
Yeah, I mean, after the Jenna vote, I really did feel like I was going home next. Maybe it didn't seem like I was at the bottom, but I truly felt like I was at the bottom, and that I was considered someone who maybe was more of an obstacle to play around because people didn't know my game. I was just this huge block of uncertainty, and more of an obstacle versus a potential ally. Um, and so I think like ultimately like that's the biggest reason, you know. I think that I also didn't have the same relationships as, you know, maybe the Christian, Emily and Devins and Ozzy and Suri. Like those were two groups that were very, 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 very tight. And I mean, I also went on the journey and I had that advantage that people were a little skeptical about. I think Joe didn't trust me after Devins had his weird moment with him and all that stuff. So there were a lot of like strikes against me, some of them that were completely out of my control. But ultimately, I think it's a combination of things.
And you're one of the few people in Survivor history that have gone up one-on-one against Colby and won. That must have been a pretty cool moment, right?
It was so cool. And I mean, I'll say like if it had been like a strength challenge or something like that, like I don't think I would have stood a chance. But it was so fun to go up against someone who I literally grew up watching. Like that's insane. Part of the fun about season 50 is, you know, you get to play with and against players who helped shape this game that I love so much, that I've been, you know, like privileged to be able to play. And to be able to not only play against Colby, but also spend time with him too. Like it meant so much to like the fan in me, you know, because before I was a player, I was a fan, right? So it was the coolest experience. And even though going on the journey probably was not good for my game, I'm glad that I did, just because it was another experience that's part of Survivor that I can just add to my, you know, almost like my Survivor bucket list.
Yeah, because unlike Kyle, who has never experienced the vote out, you did get your torch snuffed. What was that moment like when Jeff got rid of your torch?
Oh my gosh, I was so sad. But it was also, you know, when my torch got snuffed, it was almost like this release of, whew, okay, I can breathe and I can kind of like let go of like this tension I wasn't aware I had been holding. I think that this like wall that I had built that I didn't even realize I had built, that was suppressing some of my emotions, that wall was knocked down. And so, you know, you see me like very overwhelmed, but also, you know, sad and grateful and happy to be there and just a little bit of everything in that moment. So it was a very special moment. That was also, you know, a little bit tough, but very, very special.
It is very cinematic, and there was the shot where you're swimming down in the water and you unhook the buoys. That was like, as Rizzo would say, cinema.
I know. I look like a little mermaid down there. I don't think I've ever looked so good in my life. Like I owe whoever was doing the camera shot on that big time. I got to give them a cut of my million that I won.
Yeah. Before we go, a quick rapid fire questions. Who would you have used your block of vote on if you had more time in the game?
I mean, it depends. It depends. I mean, we're about to go into towards tribe swap, possibly. Like, I can't even answer that question.
If you had found a Billie Eilish boomerang idol, who would you have sent it to on another tribe?
Rizzo,
Oh, of course, yes.
obviously.
And then last question, what did you use your $1 million on, or are you saving it?
Okay, so the first thing I bought was a couch. I had to get a nice couch for my apartment, but other than that, most of it is invested.
Okay, that is what Savannah had to say. The thing that struck me most about that was, you know, last week Jenna was very, very strong that the pregame alliances were the reason she was out. She went out early. And Savannah did not have any pregame alliances. And she's like, yeah, that was part of the reason. She wasn't as strong as Jenna. Jenna was like, this is the reason. Well, nobody knows who she was because she had to go straight from her season. So she was at a disadvantage. I mean, these people, how long have Ozzy and Suri known each other? For years.
Decades. Yeah.
I mean, even though Suri voted Ozzy out and ruined his game and the last time they played together, there's still like a relationship there. Yeah. The last person in is definitely at a disadvantage.
And Savannah only had 9 days between the seasons. So she did good for the circumstances of how she came into the season.
So this episode started with Christian pooping his pants.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to bring it up.
So funny. And my favorite response was someone on Twitter was like, literally in the first episode, Christian's talking about how he has an unborn son that he's so excited is going to get to grow up and watch this moment. And then in episode 2, he shit his pants.
Oh, I guess maybe the son will be like, feel a connection to his father because he probably also poops his pants.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in that house.
Yeah. And then the episode also started with Kyle being medevaced and the remaining tribe members having a strong reaction, including Camilla. And then Coach made it all about himself.
First of all, the crying, I'm a little over this. Like, why is everyone on reality TV such an emotional basket case? I mean, the guy clipped his Achilles. That sucks. It's terrible. But you're going to like start sobbing on a dock in the middle of the ocean? Like, you need to get a grip. These people, Coach might be like a little insensitive, but maybe that's where I land too, because he was like, well, anyway, like, look what Ozzy did to me.
Yeah.
He quickly made it about himself and sucked the energy right out of that room.
It's all about the honor with Coach. And I want them to end up on a tribe together because I want to see this dynamic. And maybe we'll talk about that later, but there is a drop your buffs moment in episode 3 coming up. So there's a chance they will be put on the same tribe coming up. Another thing I wanted to mention was Rick Devens and Christian hatching this plan. It's kind of a confusing plan where they have the Billie Eilish boomerang idol, the parchment, and they hid that at tribal council so that I think the plan is that they can go back to tribal council in a future episode and find it and be like, oh, I just found an advantage. But other people on Twitter are like, no, they're doing that so that another tribe member will find that.
They want to fake someone out.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the motivation is because the way he hid it, it would be nearly impossible to find it unless you were given a clue that said there's a hidden immunity idol at the tribal council area. No one's going to just walk into tribal and start looking under benches. But it will be funnier if someone else finds it and thinks they have an idol.
And what about the moment where Christian ate shit at the end? It started with him pooping his pants and it ended with him eating shit at tribal council.
I mean, it's going to be, that was Devin's idea ultimately, wasn't it? I mean, I think it was Devin's that came up with the idea. It's smart. You have the paper left. I also loved that Christian sent his boomerang idol to Aubrey and she started crying like someone in this game has my back. And the only reason he sent it to her is because he wants her voted out so he can get it back.
Lots of crying in this episode, and it's only day 4 too. So back to Coach, there was a moment where he was out in the ocean and he what did they say he did with his calves? His calves.
Oh, he started cramping.
They started cramping up and he had to be rescued. And Dee called him old and dismantled.
He's like 50.
Yeah, he's not that old, Dee. That was quite a moment. We've never seen that where somebody had to be, saved in a boat and brought back to camp before.
At least he didn't get medevaced.
Yeah, it's like a soft medevac.
I mean, can we talk about the challenges a little bit? First of all, I have a pet peeve with the reward challenge. I think they're pointless. We have to watch too many challenges. They're always racing to something and then solving a puzzle. And I just don't feel like we see enough struggle to warrant us needing to see them win a reward. Like, why do we care?
A lot of fans disagree with you. A lot of fans want a reward challenge and an immunity challenge in every single episode.
You want to see them win a match? Like a matchstick? Like make fire? Like they're not starving anymore. Like they used to have to eat bugs. Like there's basically like an In-N-Out burger around the palm tree at this point. There's nothing that is a struggle. Yeah, it's frustrating to watch, and I don't like the challenges because they're drawn out long and boring.
They're very repetitive. It's a lot of obstacle course followed by puzzle over and over and over. Like Big Brother, which we watch religiously, those challenges are very different from each other. And you can't say the same about Survivor.
They used to wrestle in the water. They were ripping each other's hair out. I mean, it used to be physical. And it's fine if some aren't physical, but then just have this be a straight up puzzle day and a straight up physical matchup day. But it's so repetitive where it's always an obstacle followed by a puzzle.
Yeah. Australian Survivor has better challenges. I'm just going to say
Absolutely.
it right now. And a lot of the old ones that you were referring to, like the physical stuff that is now on Australian Survivor. It's like they are stealing the best of our version, and we're kind of, I think we need to start stealing back from Australia.
And in the immunities challenge, Suri, I'm sorry, like, I love Suri, but once again, she's like a detriment and loses this challenge as part of, like, why is she constantly on an important task in an immunity challenge? Like, they should know this by now. And she is one of the Survivor GOATs in terms of strategy, but her inability to win any sort of challenge is like such a ding in that resume that, I mean, it definitely stops her from ever becoming the GOAT.
But her name wasn't even thrown out at Tribal Council. 2 losses in a row, basically because of her, because of Suri. And this week, her name wasn't out there. It was Ozzy's name and Joe's name, and then Savannah somehow was the one that they all rallied behind. I think there was a lot of editing that we didn't see going on because we didn't see a lot of Savannah talk at Tribal Council.
And Ozzy gave Suri his extra vote. And she said in that moment, it's the first advantage she's had in 5 seasons.
Suri.
Can you believe that? She's never had an advantage?
That's crazy. Some people find Ozzy got 2 last week.
Yeah, that's wild.
I want to talk about Chrissy a little bit because Chrissy is she was one of my favorites in her original season. She was such a dominant physical player, and this time she's not doing much. But then again, it could be the editing, and everyone's sort of, they're calling her like the mother of the tribe, and she could be out next. Is the feeling I'm getting? Is that the feeling you're getting? Poor Chrissy.
All I've seen her do is massage coach's calves. I don't really know what she's doing there.
Yeah, maybe it's because her tribe hasn't had to go to tribal, so we haven't seen her strategizing yet.
And they're not going to because they dropped their buffs, or at least that with the preview, which I'm very excited by because I'm already sick of Suri and Ozzy at Tribal Council. Like, I'm not ready for either of those two to go home yet. I need bigger tribes with more chaos.
Do you think it'll be, because there's 21 people, they could easily do 7-7-7, or this is what I hope, they're going to do 10 and 10, and then the extra person who doesn't get a buff, they're going to go to Exile Island, and they're just going to wait until a slot opens up, and then they're going to take over. I would love 2 tribes. From the beginning, when they started, in the new era, when they started going to 3 tribes, I've always wanted 2 tribes back. Do you think we're going to get it?
No. I think they're going to do 7-7-7, but I would be rooting for your idea.
It's a better idea,
It's a much better idea. Bigger tribes lead to more chaos, and it's way more interesting.
Yeah, and then having one person kind of at exile, like waiting for their chance to.
I don't understand the 3 tribe thing.
I'm over it.
Obsession that they have.
Rizzo, poor Rizzo. He's getting flack for not helping out at camp. Everyone's saying that he's sort of lazy.
Who's Rizzo?
So my question for you, Denton, if you were on the island, would you be getting firewood? Would you be getting fish and coconuts, or would you just do a Rizzo and just going to sit there?
I would be getting shit all the time because I would constantly be like this, trying to like find a piece of paper, any sort of clue, any excuse for me to get up and walk around and do something. I would take it, and I would really be looking for advantages disguised as me being good about chores.
I would be the water boy. I'd be like, anyone need water? I'm going to go get water. And of course, I would like dig around the water well. There's always something there. So there's 20 days left in this season, and there's still 21 people left. How are they going to get rid of these people? What's going to happen? Are they going to start having double eliminations like every week?
They're going to have to. And then there's usually like 5 in the finale. So there's 10? There's 10 episodes left?
Something like that.
10 or 11?
Yeah.
And we have to get rid of 20 people in 10 or 11 episodes.
There's going to be a lot of casualties coming up.
Maybe there's some more medevacs.
Maybe. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about from episode 2?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm still like half in this season. I'm not in love with it, but one of the other dynamics that I'm still really into, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes, is this whole situation between Aubrey and Genevieve. There's still more awkwardness. They completely went through Aubrey's bag, took everything out of it, because Genevieve was like, she's been hanging under that bag, and the moment Aubrey left, Genevieve has Stephanie go distract her, and she empties the entire thing, finds nothing, and then like a half an hour later, there's an immunity idol in that bag that was sent to Aubrey, so they just checked it at the wrong time. So it's hilarious. So they really don't think she has anything now.
I want to talk to Genevieve about that moment, like watching that on TV, realizing, oh my gosh, we should have done this later in the day. We would have found the idol. That's really funny. Okay, last question I wanted to bring up. So Savannah told me she used her $1 million from 49 on buying a couch. She bought a couch. What would you do with the $1 million?
What kind of couch?
A very expensive couch.
I mean, I think I would just, you either put it away to prepare to buy the house that you want, or you get the house that you want. I mean, I think that would be where I went, is like property and just sort of having a secure future. I mean, who doesn't want to live mortgage free? I mean,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's what we slave away for every day.
I think I would buy a house just for my cat so that she could like live in luxury.
Yeah.
Mrs. Featherbottom.
Princess Featherbottom.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. We will be back next week for episode 3 of Survivor 50.